Rich and successful people follow two rules, and these are the rules that they consider before they purchase anything. And rule number one is don't lose money. In fact, this rule was famously coined by Warren Buffett, who's an investor. And it's funny because the whole point of investing is to make more money or to grow your money. But his rule number one is don't lose money, i.e. don't go into the negatives. One thing that many ordinary people fail to realize is that your money is constantly being devalued. I've got a Master of Business Administration, and a concept that you get taught very heavily is the concept of inflation. Inflation effectively is saying that the money that you have in your bank today will be worth less tomorrow and the day after, and so forth. It varies country to country. See, Australia, where I live, has a pretty reasonable inflation rate, quite low. But there's other countries that have very high inflation rates. There's in fact many countries where if you get paid in the morning, you could afford a loaf of bread. By the afternoon, guys, you won't be able to buy that loaf of bread because the value of that bread has increased, yet the value of your money has not. That is inflation, and that is you losing money day after day. And yes, in some countries, it's happening on a larger scale. The inflation is rampant. But certainly, even in Western economies and developed economies, whatever economy you have, your money is losing value day to day. The rich and successful follow a very simple rule, and it's their basic outlook on life, first and foremost, is to reduce the downside. They do not want to lose money. A lot of times, people who are broke, they're being sold a dream. They're being told to YOLO, you only live once. Life is too short to drive boring cars. And what do, guys? Well, they go out into the market and they get a car that is going to depreciate excessively. They buy themselves a brand new Audi, Benz, BMW, and they buy it on finance. A car they can't afford. A car that is going to lose probably 40, 50, 60% of its value by the time they're done with it. That is what ordinary people out there are doing. That's what's being sold to them. That's the message that's being given to them. School doesn't teach you. Social media certainly shows you people driving these Benzes, Audis. And the rich people, the successful people, understand that that's not where it's at. See, I don't want to sit here and tell you that all the millionaires are driving Accords and Camrys and Corollas. Even though statistically a lot of millionaires do drive Toyotas and Fords. And you have very famous millionaires who've done that. You know, you've got Jeff Bezos, you've got Warren Buffett, you've got many people who live that lifestyle. But certainly there's a lot of rich folk who are driving very expensive cars. But you will realize that they are hyper-focused on this one thing, and that one thing is called depreciation. Hyper-focused, guys. They do not want to lose money. They hate it. Rich people understand that cars are effectively a losing endeavor in most cases. They try to minimize the downside. If they are going to get a BMW, they're going to get one that depreciates less or one that's in demand. If they are going to get a Benz, they're going to get one that depreciates less. Same with Audi. In fact, a lot of them buy Porsches. Porsche is so popular because it has very high resale value. That's why the rich love Porsches and Ferraris. They love lining up for this stuff. Why are they lining up for this stuff? Because they know in the used car market, their value is very well preserved. So that's rule number one that everyone needs to follow. It's to reduce your downside. Forget cars. Forget the love of it, right? We all love cars. I love cars. But you have to have that element. Now, the second component that rich people care about is capital growth. I've got this book here, The Psychology of Money. It's a very good book. Many times, broke people, they look at books like this and they see people reading books around money. They think others are obsessed with money. But the truth is, guys, that you become obsessed with money when you're broke. The truly rich people aren't obsessed with money. They just want to ensure that they don't lose it and that it multiplies. That's it. And when you're broke, guys, when you're debt riddled, then you're obsessed with money. It's all you care about. And the way to not be obsessed with money is to not make dumb financial decisions. And it's to ensure that your money at some phase is growing, that you have a bit of capital growth. And that's why rich people are very much concentrated on buying cars that might have an upside. Now, I said to you in the beginning that cars are effectively a losing venture, right? Most of the cars out there depreciate. It's a motor vehicle, it has wear and tear, all that jazz. Still, there are cars that go up. And rich people are very interested in cars that go up. That's why they're lining up for Ferraris. That's why they're lining up for Porsches. You might be listening to this video, you might be middle class, whatever your socioeconomic class, there are cars that exist in all of our classes that have the ability to go up. I'm in my Toyota GR Yaris. Out of all the cars I know that I could probably afford at this level, the GR Yaris is probably the most likely to perhaps go up. Do I own it for that reason? No. but it helps. Now, perhaps at your class, you can afford a Porsche. Well, then it would be conducive that you get a Porsche that might rise in value. And that's what all these people care about. That's why people are lined up outside the Rolex stores. Why is Rolex such a high selling watch brand? It goes right up. It shoots right up. And it's not about selling that asset and getting that money. No, it's just about having that confidence that your money is growing. And if you're ever in a tight spot, your asset has gone up and it's got your back. That's all it's about. It's not about the materialistic. Guys, don't get this video wrong. It's not about materialism or growing your money just for the sake of it. It's about being financially free. Having assets that don't lose you money and having assets that have the ability to go up, even if it's not guaranteed, but they have the ability to go up, that is allowing you to have freedom. What that's saying to you is maybe tomorrow if you lose your job, you'll be able to sell your car and you'll get some good money for it. Maybe life circumstances change. Or maybe you want to upgrade your car. You have that freedom. That's what everyone out there wants. No one wants money for the sake of it. Everyone out there wants money so they can have freedom. So I hope that helps, guys. I'll catch you next time.